Good morning, all of you. This is my 30th lecture on design of mission members 1 subject. In this session, I am going to explain about problems on combined variable normal stress and variable shear stresses. Already we know the formulas for Goodman's method and Soderbergh method. Once again, I repeat. This is the formula for Goodman's method. Okay, 1 by Fs equals sigma m by sigma u plus sigma v by sigma e. Okay, here sigma m is the mean stress, sigma u is the ultimate stress, sigma v is the variable stress, sigma e is the entrance limit. Okay, in similar ways for Soderbergh method, 1 by Fs equals sigma m by sigma y plus sigma v by sigma e. Here you can observe the main difference between Goodman's equation and Soderbergh equation is ultimate and yield strength. Okay, here in Goodman's method, the mission components are designed based upon the ultimate stress, whereas in Soderbergh method, the mission components are mainly designed based upon the yield stress sigma y. Okay. Now, if we are considering the theoretical stress concentration factor and fatigue stress concentration factor, then the equation is like this. Okay, here these are the load factors, size factors, surface finish factors, miscellaneous factors. Okay, and similarly for a Soderbergh equation, 1 by Fs like this. Okay, so here these two are the Goodman's and Soderbergh equations. Okay, if you are considering the torque or shear loads, then the Goodman's equation is like this. Tau indicates the shear stress. Okay, tau m is the mean shear stress, tau u is the ultimate shear stress, tau v is the variable shear stress, tau e is the endurance limit for shear stress. Okay. Now here, if we are considering the theoretical stress concentration factor for shear KTS and fatigue stress concentration factor for shear KFS, then the equation is like this. Okay. In similar way, for Soderbergh equation, okay, 1 by F is equal tau m by tau y plus tau v by tau e. When torque or shear loads are considered. Okay. And this is the another equation for Soderbergh method. Okay. Now in this session, I am going to explain about variable normal stresses and variable shear stresses. Now, combined variable normal stresses and shear stresses. When a machine party is subjected to both variable normal stress and variable shear stress. Okay, when a machine component is subjected to both variable normal stresses and variable shear stresses, then it is designed by using the following these two theories for combination of stresses. Okay, here this one is the maximum shear stress theory, this one is the maximum normal stress theory. According to the Soderbergh's formula, already we know that 1 by Fs equals sigma m by sigma y plus sigma v by sigma e is the Soderbergh equation. Okay, when you are considering the Kt and Kf values, then the equation is like this. Already I explained it. Okay, now multiplying throughout by sigma y. Okay, then we get sigma y by Fs. Okay, multiplying throughout by sigma y. Okay, multiplying throughout by sigma y. Then sigma y by Fs equal to sigma m into Kt, sigma y by sigma y. Sigma y in numerator and denominator both are cancelled, plus sigma v kf into sigma y by sigma e, k load, k size, k surface, k miscellaneous. Okay. Here According to maximum normal stress theory, mission component may fail at maximum principal stress equal to sigma y by fs. So sigma y by fs is the maximum normal stress. Okay, so sigma y by fs is called maximum normal stress. This right side equation is called equivalent normal stress. Okay, this right side equation is called equivalent normal stress. Okay, so if we are considering the bending loads, then equivalent normal stress for bending equal to sigma y by fs. Sigma y by fs equal to sigma m plus sigma v into sigma y kfb, fatigue stress concentration factor for bending load, divided by sigma eb, entrance limit for bending load into k surface k size. Okay, now if we are considering the axial loads, then equivalent normal stress for axial loads equal to sigma m plus sigma v into sigma y into kfa, fatigue stress concentration factor for axial loads. KFA means fatigue stress concentration factor for axial loads. Sigma EA means endurance limit for axial loads. Okay, that means endurance limit into load factor. Sigma EA equal to sigma E into load factor. Okay, case surface factor, size factor. Okay, these two are the equivalent normal stresses for bending and axial loads. Now, by adding these two equations, you can get the value of total equivalent normal stress. Okay, by adding these two equations, you can get the value of total equivalent normal stress. Sigma NE. Sigma NE equal to sigma NEB plus sigma NEA. Okay, this is the total equivalent normal stress. Where sigma NE equal to sigma Y by Fs. Sigma Y by Fs is called maximum principal stress. Okay, so this formula is used for design of the mission components on based upon the maximum principal stress theory. Okay, in similar way for torsional or shear loads, from Soderberg equation, 1 by Fs equal to tau m by tau y plus tau v by tau e. Okay, this is the Soderberg equation. Now, similarly, when you are considering the Kt and Kf values, then 1 by Fs equal to tau m by tau y Kts plus tau v into Kfs by tau v into K load factor, K size, K surface, K bc. Okay, multiplying throughout by tau y. Okay, we get tau y by Fs plus tau y by Fs equal to tau m into Kts by tau y into tau y. Okay, tau y both are in cancel, plus tau v Kfs tau y by tau e into load factor, size factor, surface finish factor, and miscellaneous factor. Okay, now this equation tau y by Fs is called maximum shear stress. Tau y by Fs is called maximum shear stress. Now this right side equation is called equivalent shear stress. Equivalent shear stress. Okay, equivalent shear stress. This right side expression is known as equivalent shear stress, and this left side equation is called maximum shear stress. Okay, tau y by Fs is called maximum shear stress. Already we know that tau y by Fs equal to tau max. Okay, that is maximum shear stress. Equivalent shear stress due to reverse torsion or shear loading, then we are using this equation. Here tau es equal to tau y by Fs. Tau es equal to tau y by Fs. Okay, tau m. Here I consider Kts as 1, and tau v, tau y, and Kfs divided by tau e, load factor, surface finish factor, size factor. Okay. These two are the, this one is the maximum shear stress theory equation. This one is the maximum principal stress theory equation. Okay. By using these two formulas, you can find out the suitable diameter of the shaft. Okay. This is the maximum principal stress equation. This is the maximum shear stress equation. Okay. Now coming to the example problem, very important. Okay. For exam point of view, it is very important. Okay. So please listen carefully. A steel cantilever is 200 long. It is subjected to an axial load which varies from 150 newtons compression to 450 newtons tension, and also a transverse load at its free end which varies from 80 newtons up to 120 newtons down. The cantilever is of circular cross section. It is of diameter 2d for first 50 mm, 2d diameter first for first two 50 mm length, and of diameter d for remaining length of 150 mm. Determine its diameter taking a factor of safety of 2. Assume the following values: yield stress equal to 330 megapascal, endurance limit for reversal loading equal to 300 megapascal, correction factors equal to 0.7 in reverse axial loading, okay, equal to 1 for reversal bending, and stress concentration factor equal to 1.44 for bending, 1.64 for axial loading. Size effect factor equal to 0.85, surface effect factor equal to 0.9, notch sensitivity index equal to 0.9. Okay, this is the given question. Okay, first you have to identify the given values in this question. Okay, this problem shows the cantilever beam. Okay, here this is a fixed support. Okay, this side, this left side end is fixed. Okay, and this right side end is free. Okay, here the load is acting at free end. Okay, 80 newtons and 120 newtons. These two are the torsional loads, and 150 newtons and 450 newtons. These two are the axial loads. Okay, here the total length of the cantilever beam equal to 200 mm. Here it is a stepped shaft. Okay, here the diameter is 2d. Here the diameter is small d. Okay. By using these details, you have to find out the suitable size of the diameter, small d. Okay, for supporting these loads. First, you have to identify the given data. Okay, here the length of the beam is given. Okay, this is the length, which here you can observe axial load. Axial loads which varies from 150 newtons compression to 450 newtons tension. Here tension means plus positive sign. You have to consider positive sign for tension, and you have to consider negative sign for compression. Okay. So this is the maximum load. This is the minimum load. So W max equal to 450 newtons. W minimum equal to minus 150 newtons. Minus sign indicates compression. The plus sign indicates tension. And also a transverse load at its free end, which varies from 80 newtons up to 120 newtons down. Here, for torsional loads, you have to consider positive sign for downward direction, negative sign for upward direction. Okay, so this one is the plus 120 for torque, maximum torque, and this one is the minus 80 newtons for minimum torque. Okay, this is the maximum load, this is the minimum load, this is the maximum torque, this is the minimum torque. Okay, the cantilever is of circular cross section. Okay, the cross section is a circular shape, so section modulus for circle equal z equal to pi d cube by 32. Here you can observe factor of safety. Factor of safety equal to 2. Okay, Fs equal to 2, and yield stress sigma y. Yield stress equal to sigma y equal to 330. and endurance limit equal to sigma E. This one is sigma E. Sigma E equal to 300 megapascal, and correction factors. The correction factors equal to 0.3 for axial loads, 1 for bending loads. Okay, bending loads. Yeah, the stress concentration factor, that is Kf equal 1.44 for bending, 1.64 for axial loading. This one is a size factor, this is a surface finish factor, this is a notch sensitivity, that is Q equal to 0.9. Okay, so the given data is length of the cantilever beam equal to 200 mm, and here you can observe 450 newtons in tension, 150 newtons in compression. So for compressive loads, you have to consider negative sign. For tensile loads, you have to consider positive sign. So 450 newtons is a tensile load. So that is plus 450. That is the maximum axial load, and minus 150 is the minimum axial load. Okay, 150 newtons is a compressive load. For compressive loads, you have to consider negative sign. Okay, and torsional load, here the torsion is given 80 newtons up, 120 newtons down. So this is a maximum torsion load. This is the minimum torsion load. So maximum torsion equal to plus 120 newtons. Okay, for downward direction you have to consider positive sign, and for upward direction you have to consider negative sign. Okay, these two are the torsion loads. Okay, these two torsion loads are useful to determine the torque. Okay, and Fs, factor of safety, equal to 2, and yield stress equal to 330 megapascal. Okay, entrance limit equal to 300 megapascal. Axial load factor, correction factors are given. Okay, correction factors or load factors. So for axial loads, Ka equal to 0.7, and bending loads Kb equal to 1. These two are the correction factors. Correction factors or load factors, and Ktb is the theoretical stress concentration factor for bending loads, for axial loads. Size factor equal to 0.85, surface finish factor equal to 0.9, and notch sensitivity equal to Q. Q is the notch sensitivity. Okay, so these are the given values. By using these values, you have to determine the suitable diameter of the shaft. Okay, small d. You have to find out the value of d, small d. Okay, here you can observe this is a stepped shaft. Okay, here the diameter is 2d. Here the diameter is small d. Okay, so already we know that the maximum stress always occurs at small cross-sectional areas. Okay, stresses may occur at small cross-sectional areas. So this smaller diameter may fail, okay, due to loading. So first of all, let's find out the equivalent normal stress for point A. Okay, which is critical. Okay, so here the stress, this is the stress riser. Chamfers or fillets or sudden change in dimensions or the stress risers. So here high at point A and B. Okay, you have to consider all stresses. Okay, it is assumed that the equivalent normal stress at this point will be the algebraic sum of the equivalent normal stress due to axial loading and equivalent normal stress due to bending. Okay, here once again I repeat, the diameter is 2d. Here the diameter is d, small d. Okay, maximum stress will occur at smaller cross-sectional areas. Okay, that's why I consider point A and B are the critical points. Okay, that means stress high stress may concentrate at point A and B due to sudden change in diameter. Okay, so you have to consider this length 150 mm only. Don't consider 50 mm. Okay, for determining the bending loads, you have to consider only 150 mm. Don't consider 50 mm because we are considering the bending loads at critical point A and B. Okay, so here the distance between load and point A is 150 mm. So you have to consider only length 150 mm. Don't consider 50 mm. Okay. Already we know that mean or average load equal to mean load equal to maximum load plus minimum load by 2. So already we know that this one is the tensile load plus 450. This one is the compressive load minus 150. Okay, this is the maximum load, this is the minimum load. Both are axial loads. 450 plus minus 150 by 2 equal to 150 newtons is the mean or average load. And variable axial load, where already we know the formula for variable loads. W variable WV equal to maximum load minus minimum load by 2. So 450 is the maximum load minus 150 is the minimum load. So 450 minus 150 by 2 equal 300 newtons. This is the variable load. This is the maximum mean load. This one is the mean load. This one is the variable load. Okay. In similar way, already we know the formula for stress. Stress equal to load by area. Here the cross section is a circle. So cross section area for circle equal to pi by 4 d square. So load by area is the stress. So for determining the mean stress, you have to use this formula sigma m. Mean stress equal to mean load by cross section area. Mean load equal to 150. Okay, divided by pi by 4 d square. Okay, here the diameter of the shaft D is unknown, so you have to find out the value of D. In similar way, variable axial stress sigma V equal to load by area, variable load by cross section area. Variable load equal to 300 and the area is pi by 4 d square. So 382 by d square is the variable stress. Okay, these two are the mean and variable stresses. Okay. Now the notch sensitivity factor is given Q equal to 0.9 is given. Okay, already we know the formula for fatigue stress concentration factor Kf equal to 1 plus notch sensitivity into theoretical stress concentration factor minus 1. From given data, already we know the value of theoretical stress concentration factor Kt. Okay, by using this equation, we have to find out the value of fatigue stress concentration factor Kf. Okay, so Kf equal to 1 plus Q of Kta minus 1. Okay, substitute the value of notch sensitivity Q and Kta values, then you will get the value of Kf. That is the fatigue stress concentration factor Kf. Kf equal to 1.576 for axial loadings. Okay. So here already we know the formula for endurance limit. Okay, sigma EA is the endurance limit for axial loads. Then sigma EA equal to sigma E into load factor, axial load factor. Axial load correction factor is given, that is Ka equal to 0.7 is given. Then endurance limit sigma EA equal to sigma E into Ka. Sigma E equal to 300 and Ka equal to 0.7. So sigma EA equal to 210 Newton per mm square. Okay, from the previous formulas, equivalent normal stress for axial loading equal to sigma m plus sigma v into sigma y into k of a by sigma ea into k surface into k size factor. Okay, sigma nea is the equivalent normal stress for axial loads only. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, 1428 by d square is the sigma nea. Okay. In similar manner, you have to find out the equivalent normal stress for bending. Okay. In similar way, you have to find out the value of equivalent normal stress for bending. Okay. Already we know the values of WT max, torsional maximum torsional load and minimum torsional load. Okay. So due to these loads, bending may occur at the point A and B. So this is the mean load, mean torsion load. So maximum load plus minimum load by 2. Here 120 down and 80 newtons is up. So for downward direction, you have to consider positive sign, and for upward direction, you have to consider negative sign. Okay, this is the variable load. Variable load equal to maximum load minus minimum load by 2. Okay, here variable load equal to 100 newtons, mean load equal to 20 newtons. Now, from the diagram, okay, bending moment at point A equal to load into distance. Okay, the distance is 150 mm. Okay, so here the total length of the beam equal to 200, but you have to consider the distance between point A and load. So that is L minus 50. Okay, so 150 mm is the distance between the load and the point A. This is the mean load. Okay, this is the max. This is the mean bending moment. Mean bending moment equal to mean load into distance. Okay, 3000 Newton mm is the mean bending moment. In similar way, variable bending moment equal to variable load into distance. Okay, 15,000 Newton mm is the variable bending moment. After getting the mean and variable bending moments, we have to find out the value of mean stress and variable stress. Already we know the formula for mean for bending stress. Already we know the formula for bending stress. That is sigma B equal to m by z. Okay, m is the bending moment, z is the section modulus. Here the cross section is a circle, so section modulus for a circular cross section equal to pi d cube by 32. For circular cross sections, z equal to pi d cube by 32. Okay, so z equal to 0.0982 into d cube is the value for z section modulus. Okay, so for determining the mean bending stress, sigma m bending equal to mm by z, mean bending moment by z. So mean bending moment equal to 3000 divided by z. So this is the value for mean bending stress. In similar way, variable bending stress equal to variable bending moment by section modulus. Okay, 15,000 by 0.0982 d cube. Okay, so 152,750 by d cube is the variable bending stress. Okay, so these two are the mean and variable bending stresses. Okay, already we know the formula for fatigue stress concentration factor for bending. 1 plus notch sensitivity into theoretical stress concentration for bending minus 1. Already we know the value of Q equal to 0.9. KTB, the theoretical stress concentration factor for bending load, 1.44 is given. So from Q and KTB, you have to find out the value of KFB, fatigue stress concentration factor for bending load. Okay, 1.396 is the fatigue stress concentration factor. And here sigma EB is the entrance limit for bending loads. For bending loads, KB equal to 1. KB equal to 1, sigma E equal to 300. So sigma EB equal to 300 Newton per mm square. This is the entrance limit for bending load. Okay. From the equivalent normal stress for bending, sigma NEB equal to sigma M plus sigma V into sigma Y, KFB by sigma EB into K surface, K size. Okay, substitute the values of sigma V and sigma M, K surface, K size factors. Then the answer is 3,37,168 by d cube. That is the equivalent bending stress. Okay. Now the total normal stress equal to sigma NE. Sigma NE equal to total equivalent normal stress equal to equivalent normal stress for bending plus equivalent normal stress for axial loading. Okay. So here sigma NEA is obtained from the axial loads. Sigma NEB is obtained from bending loads. Okay. So these are the values. Already we found that. Okay. So sigma NE, already we know the formula for maximum principal stress. Maximum principal stress equal to sigma y by fs. Okay. This equivalent normal stress equal to sigma y by fs. Okay. So sigma y equal to 330, fs equal to 2. So sigma NE equal to 165 Newton per mm square. But sigma NE equal to sigma NEB plus sigma NEA. Okay. So from equation 1 and 2, we got the answer for diameter of a shaft D equal to 12.9 mm. Okay. So this is the answer. D equal to 12.9 mm. Design based upon the maximum principal stress theory. Okay. In similar way, on this, in next class, I will explain about this problem. This is a torsion. Okay. So in next class, I will explain about this problem. Okay, these are the given values. Okay, all of you please try. Okay, in next class, I will explain. Okay. So in this question, maximum torque, maximum bending moment are given. Then you have to find out the suitable size. Okay, suitable size of the shaft. Okay. Okay, thank you. I will explain in next class.